guys, welcome back to Clockwork Noodles for another breakdown of Vinland Saga Season 2, episode number 21. I actually have quite a short script this week. Brief one from me, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are coming up to the end of the season very slowly now, so in about a week's time, you're going to get my next season review. So we're going to look at summer 2023. I'm going to go through all the things coming your way, new titles, anything returning. I'll go through what I'm breaking down on the channel. At the moment, it's one show, but I'm going to go back through at some point and try be a bit more lenient on what I might break down and say, hey, okay, maybe it's not immediately grabbing me, but I'm going to roll the dice and see if it can interest me. So join me with that video to see what I end up with. I'm going to try and aim for 3 shows. In about 4 weeks time, we're going to obviously have the end of season review. I have to say I'm in a bit of a better position to say I think I know what I'm going to crown, and I can say with confidence it's very different from the midways. Make sure you tune in to see my final confirmations on what I've enjoyed this season, what my top 3 are, the awards as well. I did that last season, it went down very well, so let's do this again where I hand out a few awards. It'll be fun things, best boy, best girl, husbando, that kind of thing. That went down very well, so we're going to do that again. Let's get to it because I don't have too much to say. This week's episode for me was good, but it wasn't the same as last week. Last week I had a lot to say. This week I guess it's a bridge before we get next week's meeting, which at the same time I have to say thank you Vinland Saga for spoiling yourself. The end kind of spoils the outcome of what's about to happen. There's no real mystery if you're showing me Thorfinn going face to face with Canute. So I know a few people aren't a big fan of Canute, but I am impressed that he still denies the requests from his men to borrow the houses on the farm to sleep in because they don't want to sleep on the floor, they don't want to sleep in tents. Now, he could do this. He is technically the victor. They haven't surrendered, but he's won the first battle, and it's pretty clear that he's going to win the second battle. He could do this, but he doesn't. Very grey character, and he's done some very bad things in the show, but he still sticks to his morals. We're not going to do it. We're not going to invade the farm. You're going to stay out here. I'm going to pay you myself. Canute, you're not clear of criticisms because I've got one for you a little later on. The moment when Canute, I'm going to call it the head of doom, it's very nice symbology. I say there's a lot of nice symbology going on as you see the path laid out before him is lined with bodies. His conquest is going to be on the shoulders of people who have to die. Like he says, I will spare the people who don't need to die, but I will have to kill people. I love the fact that you get this tone shift. The blackened background, it goes dark, and you've got blue, which is quite nice. Canute knows that this is no laughing matter. If I'm going to have paradise, well, I'm gonna have a lot of people who die. Einar does snap out of his slump, realizing that Thorfinn is gone. Happy that he snapped out of it, but at the same time, he could have taken as long as he needed to grieve, so I wouldn't have been angry at him regardless, but I was still sad that he hit Thorfinn last week, because it seems like Thorfinn's about to have his face completely wrecked. Perspective from Olmar was perhaps one of the stronger sequences for me this week, where you've got the harrowing sight of the aftermath. All of these people who have been wounded, all of these people who have been able to get off the battlefield who are probably now going to die of their wounds. We're still at a period of time where there's no anesthetic, there's no real healthcare system, there's no real understanding of disease. Most of these men will either die of blood loss or they're going to get gangrene because their wounds are going to become infected, which is the sad reality. But I love this sequence because Olmar's just hit in the face by a wall of it. Instead of a wall of sound, which you get in music, he's getting hit by a wall of visuals. Death all around him, there's people begging him, there's people who have no hands. He can see her tears, and all of that is just hitting him in the feels because he feels regret. He survived. He doesn't want to see anyone also die, but he also knows that people would view him as a coward for running away and not doing anything. I am impressed with Olmar. As much as he might be seen as a coward to their standards, to my standards is he's doing the right thing. He knows that they're not gonna survive another journey out onto the battlefield against professionals. There's no way. You gotta spare what you can and hope for the best. You gotta hope for some kind of mercy. If you give in, you get banished, you get to live, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. Innocent people on your farm, they still get to keep their lives. Kudos to Olmar this week, which is really sad because you can just see him being haunted by everything. Actions probably haunt him. He probably regrets not being able to do anything, but at the same time, he does seem to mirror Thorfinn in a sense. Thorfinn now. I'm always happy to see Snake on the screen, but I am sad because he seems to be bound by a sense of duty, regardless of the fact that he doesn't really owe Till anything. I know that they're calling him a freeloader, but he is still offering a service. He does still say, I will fight. I'm happy that Olmar's the one who comes in and has sense. Snake is happy to accompany Olmar. I will go with you. Things get bad, I'm here to protect you. I think he is one of my favourite characters. 3 favourite characters when it comes to this show. Thorfinn, Leif Erikson, and Snake. I think he's a fantastic character. He's really grown on me, and I think that's down to the writing. I think the writing is just that good. I do hope at some point we ever do get maybe an OVA or something just going into that backstory. Sadly, don't think it's going to happen, but they also saw that whilst writing the anime, there was room for one. They chose to take it out. I think it would have bogged down the plot. The pacing would have been off, but I do really want them to delve into this character because there's a lot of potential in this character. Ulmer now being very, very brave, and this is bravery in a different sense. He's now standing up to his entire family, knowing that they don't want to surrender. They know that being surrendered is the end of their life. They're going to have no home. They're going to be booted out on the road with nothing to their names. They might even be captured for slavery. That could even happen, which would be very ironic. Ulmer stands up for what he thinks is correct. It's probably a good thing that Ketil didn't knight Thorgil as his successor, because you know Thorgil would have taken them back to war. Thorgil was talking no sense. 20 men against what you just saw. You do see Thorgil trying to compose and comfort Ulmer, because he still puts it down to him just being nervous or something, and you can see him trying to comfort him but prodding him to keep fighting because he still wants that fight. And it's just so interesting to have the two brothers having very different opinions. Might mirror Canute and Thorfinn. Now the two are not brothers, but I think somebody already highlighted both of them were shaped into the people they are now thanks to Askeladd, and in a sense he was a link between the two. They essentially lived together for a little bit, brothers from different mothers and dads. One is now fighting for the cause and the other brother doesn't want to fight. For me, that does seem a little bit reminiscent of Thorfinn and Canute. Ulmer decides there's no more fighting, I'm done, I'm gonna surrender. Surrendering is the best option. I know it's not for them, but for all the people involved, it means nobody has to die needlessly anymore, and I'm very happy that Snake is going along. I'm proud of Ulmar's decision, but it does split the families. Thorgil's gone, he's walked off, vanished anyway, so maybe he's gonna go. I was worried that he might head to the beach and just try and fight Canute again. That would be very bad if they start doing different things. Thankful that this is the decision they have reached and we're not going to have to see any more needless fighting. There is only 3 episodes left. I don't think we've got any time now for a second round of fighting. I can imagine next week is all going to be around Thorfinn getting smacked. They might end on them going face to face. The next episode they might have them talking, and then whatever resolution is awaiting us in the final episode for this season. Hopefully we get a 3rd season. I don't think Mappa has announced it, but a few of you did say that it's more likely it will happen. I just hope that it's going to be at least greenlit so I have something to get excited for, but at the moment nothing's been greenlit. Leif Erikson is still my second favourite character. I love him to pieces, and the fact that he's like, I trust Thorfinn, I'm gonna wait. Really want these two to go back together, but I also don't see it happening. For some reason I have massive doubt that Leif Erikson and Thorfinn are actually going to spend any time together, which upsets me because of the very heavy Arnheid plot. We were robbed of a reunion moment between the two. Just wouldn't have been right with the heaviness that was going on at the same time. Wish that they would spend some time together, because Leif is, in my eyes, a link to his dad. I'd like Thorfinn to just at least get some time to talk to him, and maybe they can discuss what's going on back in Iceland, find out what's going on with his family and stuff. That would be really nice. I am very sorry, last week I did state what happens if Canute doesn't recognise the name Thorfinn. I am sorry I even suggested it, because that is one hell of a reaction from Canute that he just won't go and see him. You ended very badly with each other, but you just don't want to go check out it's not Thorfinn. You don't have anything to say to him. This is why I'm criticising Canute a little bit. I'm just sad that you don't even want to go and check it out. At least just see if it is Thorfinn or something. He was on your side for a little bit. He attacked him because he killed Askeladd, but at the same time I'm like, do you really not have anything to say to Thorfinn at all? I don't know. Even if it's just to go over there and be like, oi, you ruined my face. Something like that. I'm just a little bit disappointed in Canute for that response. It looks like we're going to have to brute force our way into seeing him, but the pacifist route. Now, what I am starting to see is the shortcomings of pacifism, is the fact that nobody listens to him, nobody takes him seriously. He ends up getting beaten up. If you end up dying for your cause also dies with you. I know Thorfinn is now going up against 100 blows. He's still a man. He's still a human. I know we've seen him do extraordinary feats in season 1. This isn't an anime where superpowers exist. He is still human. If you take the blow to the head in the wrong place, you can die. There's a reason why wrestlers end up with a lot of brain damage, brain issues, is because they take so many blows to the head. Him now agreeing to take 100 blows is just painful, because I know he shouldn't fight and fighting is bad, but he must be able to defend himself. There's a difference between fighting and defending yourself, right? I love the animation at the end when we go in for the swing. The camera seems to follow it, but then it just ends and we have that spoiler right at the end. I didn't have too much to say. I had some nice bits I wanted to point out. The strong point for me was the Olmar sequence. Disappointed in Canute with that reaction, but at the same time, you definitely know he remembers him. Sad that he didn't have a bigger reaction, but I get it. He doesn't really need to see Thorfinn. Thorfinn wasn't on his side. Thorfinn attacked him anyway. They weren't close. It was always a bit awkward with these two anyway, because you'd always see Canute being terrified of young Thorfinn because he scared him. It's sad that we're going to have to brute force our way in to get that face-to-face. I have a feeling I know where we're going to end. A vague feeling that they are going to go face-to-face and somehow he's going to tell Canute F off. Maybe not in those words. I get the feeling that he's going to say something to him somehow. I don't know what he's going to say. Somehow Canute's just going to leave, but I can't put the pieces together. That is my theory. I think this season's going to end maybe anticlimactically in a sense. He might just go. I can't imagine where season 3 is going to go. But at the same time, when we ended season 1, I had no idea that this is where we was going to go. I had no idea any of this season was going to happen. We're probably going to do a time skip, actually. If we're going to follow in true suit, it's a possibility we're going to end with a time skip. Season 3, Thorfinn is going to look completely different. We'll be interested to see how much of my theorising is correct. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're looking after yourselves. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.